Rishi Sunak's D-Day gaffe. How many more to come? Well, welcome to Mark and Pete. Now, here's a thought.
The writings on the wall. As the media and papers write their final paragraph, when you make a ceremonial public gaffe and offend dignitaries and your staff, it might become your epitaph. Yes, well, Rishi Sunak missed a crucial D-Day memorial event in favour of an ITV interview.
Yes,
well, what a terrible gaffe that was. And in fact, this not only has riled people from other parties and international communities, also people from within his own party. Now, Prime Minister Mr. Rishi Sunak has apologised and has said that after the backlash of the media that he does recognise and understand the cultural significance of the D-Day landings. Well, Clergyman Pete, I ask you, if he really understood what it meant with those commemorations, why on earth leave? Now, I ask you, ultimately, is that the end of his event and his premiership?
Well, I think it does. It has had a bigger effect. And the reason that this has an effect, when something has a big effect, it's an effect like resonance. You know, when you hit a plate or a piece of metal at its and it resonates at its natural frequency. Suddenly it creases and everything's ruined. Well, this has reached his point of resonance with his personality, in that it fits in with his character and personality that he wouldn't know, wouldn't understand. It doesn't matter how much he actually understands the historical and cultural significance. It fits in with people's view of his personality that he wouldn't. Partly because he's a numbers guy, you know, he just seems not to be in tune with with such cultural issues, but also because he's perceived to be a foreigner who doesn't understand British ways. And I have to say that, as you were commenting, Mark, the fact that he thought it was okay to leave at that point, it was the third event. He'd already been to two, and one was the actual British event, and all they were doing, Mark, was going down to the beach where the actual thing happened. I mean, for goodness sake, no. And this, people will be there when we their last celebration, certainly the last significant celebration, memorial rather, of the event that people who are there are going to be attending, because they're dying off. And so he should have been there. There should have been a Prime Minister of Britain there. I know the King was there, but we need the Prime Minister there as well. And the fact that he wasn't there has ruined it for us as well, because I personally wanted the Prime Minister to be there with the veterans who'd stormed the beach. Of course we wanted him to be there. So it was a far bigger thing than he could see, and the fact that he believed, I understand it. No, you don't understand it. Otherwise, not only would you have been there, you would have gone on and on about how important it was and bored us to tears. But he just didn't see it, and it's just extraordinary, isn't it? Because it's also, from a cynical point of view, the perfect photo op.
Yes,
you get to stand next to bottom scratching Biden and all the big leaders, and you get to see.
Yes.
You get to be seen as a great statesman just by standing there. That's all he had to do.
Wow.
But I know he's quite small, but I think this has diminished his stature.
Well, very, very much so. But to your point, that I think that what he has done is he's, shall we say, metaphorically, not read the room. And that is that you're right, that many of the veterans who really supported the cause on the D-Day landings, and those veterans probably will not have, some of them, the opportunity to experience that event. So first of all, there's the offending of those who really helped us to remain independent, and the sacrifices that they made. I think what you've got to understand in the deep culture of this is that what they did was something that we should all be respectful of. And to have seen the day through, really, it should have been that Rishi Sunak should have been advised to take the entire calendar for that day. And you're right, he would have had the opportunity not only to have been with the veterans, but he would have been there through the event, and the ceremony would have given him the chance as a photo op to be in leaders with Germany, United States, France, etc. And that in itself, I thought, was disrespectful to the other leaders, the international leaders who took the trouble to be there. But there's something else as well, is that I think that when the British people are thinking about who represents us going forward, if you're not prepared to show respect for something of significance as the D-Day landings, I don't see what you could possibly ever really see as being credible and trustworthy. So that there is that element to it.
Yes, there is a question of just generally of judgment. That was really poor
Read
judgment.
the room, folks. Know the audience.
Yeah, exactly. It's as simple as that. He's no longer credible as a leader. I mean, we could be seeing, in terms of election results, we could be seeing the Conservatives getting under 100 seats, which I mean, that is, some people are saying that, so it's extraordinary. I mean, that's if Reform get a few seats.
It's possible, but here's the thing. So this is a gaffe that nobody's going to dispute that. I think, ironically, he's apologised, and I think he's woken up to the fact that really he's made probably the biggest mistake of his political career, other than ever considering being a politician, but that's another matter. The fact of the matter is that this is seen on the level of many other big gaffes in political history. So if we take in recent times, Gordon Brown, if you remember, during the 2010 general election, called Gillian Duffy a bigoted woman. Unfortunately, when he did say it, he was still on microphone and he was recorded. That really was a major impact. There was another one, ironically, didn't at the time seem to have the same impact, but Boris Johnson hid in a fridge. During the general election of 2019, and swore when he realised.
But that did fit in with his personality, his character, but as a lovable buffoon for many people. So
many will also refer to other political gaffes. So if you remember, for those audiences who remember the 1992 general election, when Neil Kinnock boldly went out on stage going, all right, all right, all right, almost as though he'd actually won the election against John Major, to find that actually a couple of days later it wasn't. He really basically was almost sort of picking up the trophy metaphorically before he'd actually even the game had been finished.
Yes.
It was a bad judgment, basically. And so I come back to, I think, if you look at gaffes in recent times, what Rishi Sunak has done is probably one of the worst, because I think it's offensive to almost everybody.
It's one of the worst. I mean, in terms of that offence to everyone. I mean, the thing is, he is never going to win anyway. He's going to do very, very badly. So it's almost like he's got something to blame it on now. Rather than the terrible way he's been running the country. But I think that there's more to come. I think he genuinely is out of touch, and that he genuinely doesn't understand what the common people think. And with Nigel Farage now out on the campaign trail, who quite obviously does get what the common people think. He does understand. He even drinks the same beer as them. He understands, and so it will highlight how out of touch Rishi Sunak is, I think.
Well, here's the thing. So it's about gaffes to come.
Contrast.
I think that if Rishi Sunak continues on the campaign trail, which I'm sure that he will insist upon, going about his world in blissful ignorance, I think he will open up to showing how much he's out of touch. I mean, the fact is that he's also, and I know I don't want to sort of trivialize the importance of the D-Day. That was of the biggest gaffe, but he, even in recent times, he's made some utter bad judgments. Where, here's a classic one: he went to Wales recently and asked the people of Wales.
going to Wales is a bad judgment.
No, and ask the people of Wales, what did they think about looking forward to the Euros and football? Well, at the exact point when he did that, Wales were knocked out. Meaning that he hadn't read the room and done his research again. My point is, I could keep on going about judgment. And here's my thing, is that I think he's going to do more of those sort of things, showing that he's out of touch. So here's my recommendation. I'm not an advocate for voting for Tory or however you want to vote for, listeners. But here's the thing. It would make more sense that he took more of a back seat and let somebody else take over, whether it be Penny Mordaunt or whoever that should be leading this. Because I think that the more that Rishi Sunak goes in front, you're going to see more and more of these gaffes. Now, I don't know what your thoughts are there, but it might be maybe he should actually take more of a backseat. What's your thoughts?
I think so. I mean, he after the D-Day issue, he did take a whole day off, cancelled all his interviews.
To recover.
But also, to give a gap in the news cycle. But Penny Mordaunt was in the seven-party debate, taking his place, and she acquitted herself very well, very professionally, and didn't make any of these stupid remarks. She towed the party line, and some of the Conservative Party lines were a bit silly. For example, claiming that Labour is going to put up tax by £2,000. Something
when actually, ironically, an independent party has said that's rubbish. So
so something that they themselves, it's not their policy at all. It's just a made up. So she was defending things like that because that's what she'd been given. But in terms of her ability to sell voting Conservative, she did the best that she could. She came across very well. So yes, he could take a back seat and say, "Look, I'm running the country. You sending people out there. You got that excuse, haven't you, as Prime Minister?" I agree. It would be good if he did that. But it's a bit like in the United States with Joe Biden making lots of gaffes, and when he takes centre stage, well, he often can't find his way off it, but he's gaff-ridden as well. So I know, of course, in Joe Biden's case, he was gaff-prone before he started suffering from dementia. So there's no hoping for him. Now, Rishi Sunak doesn't have dementia unless it's very early onset. It's rather that he is out of touch, genuinely out of touch. And so I would say what this shows is something that I think we and Mark and Pete knew anyway. He shouldn't be Prime Minister.
Indeed. Now, therein lies perhaps a thought for our listeners. What do they think? Do they forgive Rishi Sunak? Maybe they think that this wasn't as big an issue. Or maybe you have a different view. I wonder what you think.
Yes, let us know. Make sure you're signed in at markandpete.com. Leave a comment on this and any episode, and we'll hear your view. And if it's suitably idiotic and bigoted, we'll feature it on a future episode because you'll fit right in. Thanks very much for listening. From Mark and myself, it's goodbye.